This is a story of 4 women. We are first introduced to Tsumugi, 27 years old. She has lived with her boyfriend for 3 years. But recently, her boyfriend seems to be bored with her and always refuses to have intimate interactions with Tsumugi. Tsumugi is disappointed, and she thinks that her boyfriend is cold because she is no longer attractive. She walks into the bathroom and tries to squeeze a smile to the mirror, hoping to look attractive, but fails. After she comes out of the toilet, she receives a party invitation from her male friend Naoki. They haven't seen each other for a long time. 7 years ago, whenever Naoki encountered difficulties in a relationship, he would ask Tsumugi for help, and even asked her to play his sweetheart to rehearse the confession. Tsumugi recalls the friendship and decides to redeem it, so she immediately agrees to go to the party. At the party, Tsumugi hugs Naoki warmly as before, but Naoki is a little evasive, reminding her that she already has a boyfriend, so they shouldn't be so close. This move instantly makes the atmosphere awkward. Fortunately, their mutual friend appears in time to resolve the embarrassment. It turns out that this party was arranged by this friend, who wanted to give his wedding invitation to Tsumugi and Naoki. Knowing the playboy finally settles down, Tsumugi and Naoki send their blessings. On the topic of marriage, the friend jokes with Tsumugi that she should stop acting like a boy. If she acts to be sexy, it will be her who he is going to marry this time. Tsumugi has a good personality and doesn't get bothered by the words. Instead, she pretends to undress in response to the joke. Naoki instantly gets dumbfounded. As the party is over, the friend leaves first, but Tsumugi doesn't want to go home too early and proposes to go elsewhere with Naoki to have a second party. During their casual chat, Naoki is happy to learn that Tsumugi has become a kindergarten teacher as she wishes. Tsumugi suddenly changes the topic, asking Naoki if she is getting old. Now, Naoki finally reveals his inner thoughts. He likes Tsumugi, and thinks she is as cute as before, but he knows Tsumugi has a boyfriend, so he immediately explains that his words were just for a compliment, though this explanation is redundant. Naoki then changes topic back to where to go next, but Tsumugi's heart has been disturbed by Naoki's words. Just then, an out-of-control bicycle gives them a push. Naoki's subconscious act of protecting Tsumugi touches her heart. Naoki finally can't help complaining to Tsumugi that he has not been able to get a girlfriend over the years because he and Tsumugi are too close. Before Tsumugi can give a response, Naoki makes an excuse to leave. Looking at Naoki's departure, Tsumugi's passion for love is rekindled. She catches up with Naoki and takes him to the hotel, deliberately claiming that she has broken up with her boyfriend. She knows that only by this way will Naoki have intimacy with her. After a passionate night, Tsumugi's boyfriend calls. As Naoki sees the name and Tsumugi's expression, he instantly understands everything and leaves the hotel. At this time, the phone rings again. Tsumugi makes a casual lie to cover up her cheating. After she hangs up the call, Tsumugi cries aloud because she knows her life will go back to square one. Meanwhile, 32-year-old Eri is drinking in a bar with a subordinate who is 8 years younger than her. The subordinate is named Riku. For 2 years, Riku has been confessing his love to Eri. Although Eri has a crush on him, she cannot convince herself to date a younger man. The next day, when Riku sees Eri talking harmoniously with an older superior, he is super jealous. He then begins talking with other colleagues about his ideal type, which is Eri. Eri doesn't want to be a gossip topic, so she explains the age gap between them in public, hoping Riku can understand his feeling for her as the admiration to a superior instead of love. Even though they were very embarrassed during the day, at night they drink together as usual. Riku asks Eri if she likes older men. After receiving a negative answer, Riku again questions Eri if she can put him on her boyfriend's shortlist. Not knowing how to answer it, Eri hides in the washroom. When Eri returns to her seat, Riku continues the conversation. Actually, Eri's mind begins to waver, but she still pretends to be indifferent, pointing out Riku always jokes about his feelings and relationships, and that's why he can't get her serious response. These words completely extinguish Riku's enthusiasm, and after his last confession to Eri, he vows never to disturb Eri's life. Eri didn't expect Riku to give up. As he is leaving, she rushes to him, hugging and kissing him at the same time. This night, Eri is no longer a strict and rigid boss. She just wants to follow her heart to be a brave girl who can sacrifice everything for love. Later, when Eri learns that everything that happened at the bar was Riku's ploy, she begins to worry that Riku will not take their relationship seriously. But Riku soon comforts her with a series of gentle acts. Eri struggles for a long time and finally decides to confirm their relationship before Riku leaves the door. Riku is happy, because he has wanted to be Eri's boyfriend since 2 years ago. As they are in a relationship now, Eri immediately acts like a girlfriend, telling Riku to be careful on his way to work. The moment the door is closed, 32-year-old Eri feels like she is back to 16. She has been longing for this sweet love. Compared to Eri, 29-year-old Aoi is not so lucky. At dinner time, Aoi and her boyfriend Ryo are at the skewer restaurant, where they quarrel about the trip to Disneyland during the holiday. Ryo thinks Disney is a kingdom of dreams and magic, which nobody will get tired of, but Aoi prefers to find a quiet place to enjoy their time off. Ryo knows Aoi well, and he doesn't want her to keep catering to others, so he decides to follow Aoi's idea. However, Aoi changes her mind of going to Disney, which makes Ryo very embarrassed. Just then, Shinji, the chef of the restaurant, invites them to try the new product. Under the healing of delicious food, the embarrassing vibe between the two gradually eases. 3 months later, Aoi, as an anti-marriage person and Dink, quarrels with Ryo over marriage and children. Seeing things getting out of control, Aoi takes the initiative to admit her mistakes, saying that if Ryo wants to get married and have children, she will seriously consider it. But Ryo is even angrier because he doesn't want Aoi to force herself to follow his words all the time. In the end, he proposes to break up. Ryo wanted to use the breakup to stimulate Aoi's sense of resistance. However, Aoi agrees to break up with him. What's more, Aoi does not want Ryo to feel guilty, so she acts calm and forces a smile. Ryo can't understand Aoi's thoughts and is desperate. Now, he is even more sure that Aoi and he are not matched. A week later, Aoi hasn't gotten over the breakup, but on her way to the skewer restaurant alone, she bumps into Ryo and his new girlfriend. Aoi can't accept what she is seeing and runs away. She wants to send a message to Ryo to confirm this, but she deletes the words over and over again, and the message is not sent in the end. After that, Aoi returns to the skewer restaurant to ask Shinji about the truth. Eventually, Aoi confirms that Ryo already has a new girlfriend. She can only numb her feelings by drinking non-stop. As a result, she gets drunk and stays overnight in the restaurant. The next day, before Aoi left, Shinji tells her to wait until after closing if she wants to come over for skewers, so that she can avoid meeting Ryo. When Aoi thinks of what Shinji said the next night, she really comes to the closing skewer restaurant for drinking. While drinking and chatting with Shinji, she suddenly bursts into tears. After such a long time, Aoi still can't forget Ryo. Shinji is very distressed about Aoi and finally confesses his feelings to Aoi after a few beers. Even though he knew that it's not the right time, he did it anyway. Aoi gets frightened by this sudden love confession and politely thanks him. Shinji plucks up the courage to hold Aoi's hand, but Aoi doesn't resist. She also wants to prove that she is being loved. In the next second, Shinji leads her into their Garden of Eden, just like Adam and Eve. It's a moment only belongs to them. When Shinji tries to express his passion by kissing, Aoi hesitates and finally responds to this reckless but intense love. After that, Shinji thinks that Aoi may be hungry, so he prepares a rice ball for her. Leaving the restaurant, Aoi still feels desperate when she walks on the road she once walked on with Ryo, but the warm rice ball in her hand gives her infinite courage. At last, we will see Maika's story. Maika has been single for 20 years, because she is not confident in her appearance and has never had the opportunity to fall in love. This year, at the instigation of her classmates, she decides to participate in the Halloween Fellowship. She thought she could finally get rid of being single, but the boy she pairs with can't come for some reason. In order to appease Maika, the classmates, along with their boyfriends, take her to the bar to relax. However, seeing how sweet these couples are, Maika feels even more lost. When she learns that her classmates are going to the next party, Maika lies that her net friend is nearby and stays alone at the bar. After her friends leave, two bad guys notice Maika. They come over to accost Maika, which makes her very nervous. Just then, a boy who claims to be Maika's net friend suddenly shows up and drives away the two guys. After a brief introduction, Maika learns that the boy is named Kaoru, who witnessed the whole process of Maika lying to her friends. Worried that she would be taken advantage of by bad guys, he came over to help her get out of the predicament. Although Kaoru is well-intentioned, Maika is still wary of him after the harassment just now. As they chat, Kaoru learns that Maika always feels herself inferior and cares about others' opinions of her, so he does not hesitate to praise Maika's cuteness, asking Maika to live for herself. Kaoru is a stylist. At work, he would sacrifice his dinner time to make his customers participate in Halloween parties with beautiful looks. But after work, he didn't want to ruin the night, so he came to the bar alone to enjoy the holiday. These words inspire Maika and let her guard down. Gradually, their relationship has become closer in various games. As the party is over, Maika feels uneasy. She doesn't know what to do next, but she also longs for Kaoru to invite her to the hotel to prove her charm. However, Kaoru doesn't seem to have any thoughts about her, and just reminds Maika that her skirt is broken. Maika feels embarrassed, standing still helplessly. Feeling all this, Kaoru gently asks Maika if she can go home alone. Kaoru's words instantly touch Maika, who summons all her courage to take Kaoru to the hotel, where they enjoy the love to the fullest. The next day, though in sober, Kaoru still thinks that Micah is cute, which makes Micah very happy and she gives him a sweet morning kiss. When Kaoru asks Micah if they can keep dating, Micah agrees without hesitation. At this moment, love spreads wildly in the streets of Shibuya in the early morning, in the sweet smiles of the two. That's the end of this drama. The 4 stories in this series all emphasize that women should face up to their desires. Among them, the second story impresses me the most. I think what's between Eri and Riku is not only an 8-year age difference, but also a hierarchical relationship between a superior woman and a subordinate man. That's why Eri swayed and hesitated, because in her eyes, none of these could be easily overcome. Fortunately, the screenwriter gave Eri a perfect lover who made her feel the sweet love after she released her desires. Just as the saying goes, love is a grace from God and an adventure trip to the other. I hope all of you can take the risk when the grace comes to you. So, which of the 4 stories do you like the most? Feel free to leave your answer in the comment section. Alright, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of interesting movies and TV series recaps on my channel. Just click in and have a look. Bye.